Apparently this is yacht rock. What yachts have to do with rock? I just don't know. Rocking out on my yacht.
It means only people with enough money to have a yacht would listen to that music.
Hey everyone, welcome to That Pedal Show. Viewers, comments and questions. We throw that in for free. Dan here.
Nick here, hello.
Hope you're awesome, hope you're wonderful. Hope you all had a great weekend. For anyone in the UK, hope you survived the heat. Though in Australia, that sort of heat wave we call Tuesday.
Yeah.
But it was very nice.
It was lovely.
It was very, very
Very,
nice.
very, very lovely, 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 lovely. All the grass is brown.
It doesn't take long, does it?
No.
It rains 9 months of the year, and that 2 days it's really hot. Just the grass just
Yeah,
goes.
I love
no,
it.
I'm out.
Means I don't have to cut the bugger. Welcome to viewer comments and questions on Monday the 14th of July. Is that Bastille Day in France? I don't know, I could be wrong. If it is, well, there we are. Welcome. Yes, for those of you who are new, we prioritise super chats. We say thank you to BV, who moderates and is across everything. Thank you so much,
thank
BV.
you, buddy.
We really appreciate it. Now then, why?
These are
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
this month's giveaway.
Catherine's just brought in this month's patron giveaway.
Very nice it is too. We have two devices operated with the end of your legs. Two pedals from Wampler.
So if you're a TPS patron, you can be in the hat to win those. There'll be one to one person and one to another.
That's right.
So we get two prizes. So two people will win. You know what to do. You'll get the email.
Here you go, 76.
Just looking at way too many screens here.
And the cryptid. Beautiful.
Cryptid Fuzz. Thank you, Brian, and everyone
Yes,
at
thank you,
Wampler for
Brian.
allowing us to give those away.
He sent me a lovely message.
Make somebody very
Weekend.
happy.
So yes, thank you, Brian and Richard and everyone at Wampler.
Hello to William Engler. Hello, William Engler. Hello to Amadeus is on tonight.
Rock me Amadeus.
Oh yeah, Amadeus. James Blessed is on. Moon is on. Paul Matulovic, Chris Costabile. Lots of lovely friends.
Oh, Barry from Exact Town's in. G'day, mate.
Hey Barry.
Barry makes a beautiful board.
I've seen his work.
Yes, very, very lovely.
Jason Lindsay Music is in. Plexico Duncan, how are you, buddy?
Hey, mate.
Richard Pribenow is in. John Freemer's Random Videos is in. And let's see who else. Tim Mason. Chris Warburton. Good to hear from you, Chris. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Todd Roy, did I just see? Hello, Todd. Always good to hear from you. Schweg, 9140. Schweg. What a good name.
I like it.
Must be a Swedish word.
Okay. Yeah, that'll work.
Cameron Green, Carson Green. Fat guy at 5,000 metres. Fat old guy at 5,000 metres. Eagle Ray Rob. Oh, Rob, your generosity is crazy, mate. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, buddy.
Kindly.
Yeah, very kind.
Morley Robertson. G Barge. G Barge. How are you, Greg?
King Bollock is on. Of course he is. I'd be concerned if he wasn't.
Dan Otley. And BV, once again, thanks to BV, has just informed me we are probably about full for Super Chats, so I'm going to turn them off now, okay?
I think Brian Garcia has just snuck in with the last one.
Well, let's see.
Let's see.
It'll take me 2 hours to turn the buggers off. So.
Oh, High Watt Official says, afternoon, guys.
Ah,
Hello.
Harv, how are you, mate? Nice to hear from you. I assume you're having a busy festival season.
Beautiful.
Right. Turn off. Super chats are now off. If you've super chatted to this point, we will answer you.
Lovely.
And Daniel, let's see if you were correct. You were correct.
I was correct. I was due.
You were correct.
There we go. Lovely.
Okay. All right. Let us indeed then get into the super chats. Good show on Friday, eh?
Oh, man.
With Simon. Lots of very nice comments about Friday's show.
Yeah.
We were worried it might just be too technical, but as usual, there's a goodly handful of people who are willing and ready for the information.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
And hopefully you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah, and just always a joy to have Simon on and just to hear the guy play. Because what that does is it puts everything in context, and when he shows the results of this, and then you got, when you play and try and do it, you've got something to sort of not necessarily aim for, but you've got a picture around it. You know, it's very cool.
Yeah. And zooming out from there, proof that there's just so many ways to achieve
Yeah, that's right.
perhaps what you're looking for, and no one is, the best or whatever. It's just, this ain't working, let's try this. Repeat until you stumble on something that does. So thanks to Simon for coming on. Sometimes he's in the chat, but we'll see. Okay, Ran's there, is first in. Ran, how are you,
mate.
buddy? He says D and M and B and K and R. Shout out to Virtual Dan on the Gig Rig site.
Ah,
You've got a bot, have you?
I got a little bot, me.
Dan bot.
Dan bot.
He helped me set up parallel routing on G3, had answers to any question I could think of. Awesome job.
Ah, awesome, mate. Thank you.
And Ran also says, any Simon episode is a special treat to revisit again and again. What a player, what an engineer. He must have bionic ears. Have a great show.
It's so interesting when you hear Simon, because he's got such dynamics in his playing. He manufactures a lot of overdrive pedals, but when you hear him play through them, it's like, oh, that's what that one does. That's what that one does. And I find that, having for the last, I don't know how many years, most of the time I've had a Kingsley pedal on my board. And they just have a thing, that dynamic thing, which is really beautiful. Yeah, it's really lovely to see him, hear him do his thing.
Jason Sears. Hello, Jason. Good to hear from you. Friday's show was outstanding. It really taught us how to get more out of the gear we already own. Simon's playing was stellar as usual, but Dan's was truly inspired.
Ah, bless you, mate.
Inspired, Dan.
Inspired to throw
Inspired.
things at the screen.
That's kind of you, Jason. Michael Giliberto. How are you, Michael? Good to hear from you. He says, greetings, Tone Gurus. Any show with Simon Jarrett is always chock full of great stuff. I'm going to watch it again, as I'm sure I missed a few insights. No question today, so please dip into the chat. Thank you, Michael.
Beautiful. Thanks, mate.
Let's see if we can find one then. I think early on everyone's just saying hello, but
Yeah, it's lovely. It's really nice. We do see the conversations that happen in the chat that you have amongst yourselves, and it does warms the cockles of our old chest pumping machines. It's lovely.
Mason at Midnight says, Mick, what do you like about the classic reverb signature versus the TS1 2-Rock amplifiers? Any plans on bringing the 2-Rock Vintage Deluxe in? Yes, I do want to hear a Vintage Deluxe. I can't afford to buy one, sadly, but maybe we'll get our hands on one at some point. I actually think that's the amp I'd probably like best. But,
oh, really?
I don't know. I'd have to hear one to know. What do I like about the CRS and the TS1? The CRS is, I love the reverb. I absolutely love the reverb. And there's something about the way that it... everything we spoke about in the video on Friday with Simon, it does. So even though the sound is, so say, relatively high headroom and clean, it gives in a way that isn't sterile and two-dimensional. It's always 3D, and it just seems to have this way of delivering transient compression, that exact thing that Simon discussed, which is high sensitivity versus high dynamic range, wide dynamic range, is always a trade-off. I'd never really heard it put like that before, but it was a perfect explanation.
Yeah.
And the CRS for me does it perfectly. I love the TS1. It is more yeah, of course, it's more Dumble-like in the classic Overdrive Special vein, with the caveat that having played a few of them now, they're all so different. The ODSs, Robbins is so different from the others I've played, and so to say that it's very Dumble-like, but it's more direct. It has no reverb. It's 50 not 100, so the TS1 is 50 watts, the CRS is 100 watts, so the overall level of dynamic range and the delivery is very different. So needless to say, I would be blissfully happy with either one if it was my only amp, but if I had to choose, it would be the CRS 100 watt.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And any 100 watt for that matter.
Yeah. Yeah, because
I just like the 100 watt.
Yeah,
thing.
but you've been doing some gigs with 100 watt amps lately, and
Yeah.
you've been having some fun.
Yeah, it's just, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh, and what am I using? I'm using the Princeton's 12 watts?
Something like that.
I'm using 12 watts on a 10 watt amp. So we'll see how I go.
And you won't be significantly quieter.
It's so interesting because at rehearsal, I'm like, I've got to keep turning it down. It's like, we're doing a vocal rehearsal, but it's like, these things are punchy.
Yeah. Yeah. G Barge is next. Greg, how are you, buddy? G Barge. Mates, very heartwarming to see Dan's familiar and happy face on the cover of the new Tone Quest report. Rebecca handed me the mail and said, look, it's Dan. I love it. Well done, Dan.
Oh, thank you,
I
mate.
didn't realise Tone Quest report was still going.
Yeah, they're still doing the thing, and they interviewed me a few months ago now, and then it comes out and I'm this on the cover.
Nice.
I mean, you don't do that if you want to sell magazines. That's but man, it was it was really interesting. They wanted to talk about early days and gig rig and all that stuff, and it was really fun. And what a lovely bunch of people they've got there.
Yeah, I don't know who's there anymore.
Yeah, just really beautiful people, and it's a great mate. So thank you, mate. Yeah, that was
nice.
That was very cool.
Nice. Simon V RDJ. Simon, how are you? He says, chaps, over the weekend I visited what felt like the devil's bumhole. Also known by the locals as Walsall. There I watched a gig and fought the urge to get up on stage with the band. Ever had that urge? Yeah, I guess so. Having been the person who has been stage invaded, I have the urge less.
Okay.
You know, when you do the wedding gig and somebody inevitably wants to get up and
my
sing.
uncle plays guitar, can he get up and... Yeah.
That bit I can deal with. The thing that I find more difficult is when I'm in the middle of a guitar solo and all of a sudden there's somebody standing on my pedal board ripping the mic off the mic stand because they want to sing, and it's like, no. But yeah, of course. Usually drums when I've had about 19 pints of cider.
I would love to hear you play drums on 19 pints of cider.
Actually, to be fair, I don't think I've ever drunk 19 pints of cider. 9, maybe.
9?
Yeah.
Okay. Drums on 9 pints.
That would be messy.
Drums on 9 pints. He likes to get in a fight.
I wonder who the band might have been, Simon. That sounds like good fun. G Barge again. He says, would you describe your psychological journeys in recording and playing original songs? Is there anything which makes you swing more between the kind of proud and thoroughly vulnerable?
Oh, what a great question.
Cheers, guys. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I am going to do a vlog on this because it's all done, and I'm in the middle of finding a place to get it printed and get some CDs together. But I tell you what I've learned. I cannot believe so many people make music and get it out there.
Yeah.
The writing the music took me, it was 4 songs, and the 4 songs were all written in 5 days. It's taken 5 years to record it and get it to a point where I'm not ashamed of it. Originally, the project was I was going to do everything except play drums. And it just turned out that there was no way that I could possibly do that because A, I'm not a bass player, and then trying to get coherent sounds together in a mix, I spent so long and tweaking stupidly, endlessly, and eventually put my hands up and I asked my dear friend Paul Stacey, would you please help? And Mick kindly recorded some drums for us for the last track. One drum track was recorded 3 times. Anyway, what I learnt was it is, no matter how much fun it is and how much joy and expression and all that sort of stuff, there's a level of work that goes into it. And as my new dear friend Seal would say, you got to make sure the juice is worth the squeeze.
Yeah, right. Nice. So to the question then, yeah, okay, I think you answered it. So G's saying, so is there a way then? So because it's taken you so long, that means you felt vulnerable.
Completely.
It means you felt you haven't want to put it out.
Completely.
So what do you think you would do differently next time to mitigate that a bit?
It was a unique situation because it was born out of a COVID project. I was alone in a tiny little room thinking I need something to keep me motivated. And during that time, like, the band broke up and all this sort of stuff, and it was pretty ugly.
And we will never play again.
And
to quote my friend Frank.
So I wouldn't start out with the idea that it's going to be a solo thing. Right. I would want everyone who want to be involved, and bless Doug. So Doug, drummer I've been playing with for 20 years, he was like, I'm in to just, I'll do whatever you want to do. Tell me to play, tell me to play. Oh, he's the most beautiful guy, and he was he was there for the arrangements and stuff, and we worked really hard on it. Being able to do it with people who you love is the most rewarding thing that you'll get out of music.
So more collaboration.
Completely.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah.
Don't get stuck on the idea that it's about you, because it just, at the end of the day, the only thing that will suffer is the music. Because I'll tell you this right now for free. No one listening to the music that you make will ever enjoy it as much as you do.
I don't agree with that.
I do.
At all.
I don't. No.
I think there's billions of people who have enjoyed John Lennon's music more than John Lennon ever did. I appreciate you're not John Lennon.
There you go.
But
okay. Well, okay. I'll say that on behalf on me, for me, that. And it might be the, where we are now, but I
genuinely think it's the opposite. I genuinely think it's the opposite.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
But anyway, if that's your your view,
I just think you've got to make it for you.
Right.
You've got to make it for you, because you're going to.
That's true.
Yeah, you've got to, and keeping in the back of your mind, this is, people will love this. No, you've got to make it for you, and do it because you enjoy it. Yeah, that would be a better way to express that.
Yeah.
But I still think no one's going to enjoy this as much as I have.
Well, the thing is, they enjoy it on a different plane than you do.
Okay.
Because it means something different. Like, think about all the music you love. It means something completely different to you than it meant to the person who wrote it.
That's very true.
Because you may see the meaning differently. You may feel the meaning differently, or there may be no meaning at all. You might just like the sound of the bass.
Yeah. I'd be really interested to hear people who put out their own music about your journey. And I mean, did you get CDs made? Did you just do it online? Did you get vinyl made? What was your journey and reasoning for doing it. I mean, I'm definitely going to get some CDs printed, but it's interesting, you know. I just going back and looking at some albums, and I mean, there's not enough music on here to get vinyl made, but looking at the artwork and the pleasure of listening to it and reading all the stuff on it and stuff, it's like, yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. I think for me, and I haven't really made any music.
But you are in the middle of getting it together.
Yeah. I would. Time is interesting. So from a personal point of view, all I've done really up until now, apart from the odd stint with, you know, playing guitar for somebody or, you know, going out with someone who's done a bunch of original music, most of what I've done is cover gigs, you know, function bands.
But that's most of what everyone's
bar bands. Yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying that's my experience to date, because that's where my interest was. And I used to think that, you know, writing songs wasn't really for me because all the music that I love is out there, and to think that you could add anything to that is crazy. But of course, that's an entirely egoic position. So now I'm kind of the opposite way. I just finished some gigs. I kind of don't want to do any more covers gigs, really, in the foreseeable, if I can avoid it. Because, and that's not a snooty thing, it's just, you change. And over time you change, and your motivation changes, and the reason you get out of bed in the morning changes. And now I do feel like I want to say something musically, which I can't say by playing Don't Look Back in Anger. And again, it's all very highbrow and overblown, because, to paraphrase Dan's point, nobody really cares. What cares is that you care. What matters is that you care, and that you do something that's from the heart and is that has integrity. And I think what I've learned, to answer your question specifically, G, is to not think about the result.
That's good.
Don't do anything for the result. Never do anything for the result. Do it for the doing. And if you're focused on the doing and you're present in the doing, the result will take care of itself. And I wholeheartedly am headlong into that in everything now, not just music. Similarly, finding the courage, which is the next interesting bit, because I don't know if I've quite got it. Finding the courage to go, this is how much resource we have for this, and whatever happens at the end of that,
that's it.
Yeah. And then we start again. Because like anything, right, if you're learning a bit of software, if you're learning how to play a sport, if you're, whatever it is you're doing, learning how to speak a language, you've got to get it wrong 50 times before you get it right. And I'm in some way envious of all those people who just started writing recording when they were 15.
Yeah, right.
And they just started recording and putting it out and putting it out, and writing and recording and putting it out and putting it out. And so you can make all your mistakes and never be too hung up on. I mean, you might look back and go, well, I didn't like that very much, but that's fine. We all move on. Just do, move, do, next. And I don't know where one gets the courage to do that, but if you can find it and you can bring yourself to do that, I think that's where the magic works. And then finally, I think it's essential to have the core of the people in the room together.
Yeah.
I would say that was essential.
Yeah.
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 And it's definitely awesome and brilliant to do everything yourself, if you want to go through that pain. But it's equally awesome and brilliant to get professionals, or at least people who are specialists in that field. Like, to work up my tracks, I'm going to hire 2 guys for 2 days, and it's going to cost me a lot of money. But they are guys who have played on hundreds of records, possibly even thousands. And so when you say, can we have a bit of that, they got it.
Yeah.
And that's what you're paying them for.
Yeah. And there's no, oh, didn't you like my first take? There's no ego in it. So like,
None of that.
Right, that's,
and not
I'm
only
right
that,
there.
years ago I'd have been too embarrassed to ask anybody that good. But now it's like, no, I'm not embarrassed at all. And I don't feel lesser than them, because what they will do is drag you along. So, and they do this kind of thing all the time. But we'll
Amazing.
see. We'll see.
Great question. Thanks, mate.
Yeah, thanks, G. We love talking about ourselves, you know.
That's enough about me. What do you think of me?
Morley Robertson. Hello, mate. Morley Robertson says, hello, TPS Leg Ends. Great show on Friday.
Thanks, buddy.
I really like learning about capacitor values. I recently built my own pedal that does basically the same thing with 10 caps. It's similar to Simon's, but simpler, of course. Yeah, nice one.
Great.
I tried to make it clear Simon tried to make it clear during the video, but what that pedal was doing was essentially simulating what's happening in your guitar. I think a lot of people kind of missed that, didn't quite get that that's what was happening. But it was fascinating when you were playing the SG and he was flicking through the caps.
Yeah, and then the clean up on it.
Absolutely
Amazing.
Fascinating.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, thank you, Morley. Non-aligned, did you ever experience, this is from non-aligned, did you ever experience a period where you didn't want to make music? Have you ever considered quitting, like completely? Or just quitting playing gigs, etc.?
So I played gigs. Now, I don't want to be, supercilious about this. I got my first paying gig, I think I was 15, and I couldn't believe someone paid me to do it. And pretty consistently since then, I've played, and from when I was 19, it was my main source of income. Up until just before, so was it 2018 or 2019, I had a residency in Cardiff, and I was an acoustic residency with Doug, with the Bipolar Bears. And up until that, I was playing 4 or 5 nights a week. And then one by one, as I didn't need to rely on the gigs as much anymore, I would happily let them go away because family time, it's being a working musician with kids is just a nightmare on the weekends. And I was very happy to move into a new part of my life where I didn't need to rely on the income from gigs. But now I've put a new band together, but I'm playing music that I've always wanted to play. I'm not, and it's going to be great. The band's fantastic, but I was really happy to have that period to say, I'm just going to stop. Because then the Cardiff, we put the end to the Cardiff gigs and that was it. We'd been playing the Walkabout for like 15 years or something. It was insane. And then that was that. And until the TPS band was doing gigs, I just, I had an originals thing, but then that stopped, and
I think that came from exactly what you've just described, though. I mean, because obviously Dan and I were doing that pedal show when he was doing all of that, and it wasn't you going, "Oh my god, I hate this," which I think is what you're potentially going for in a question, and I've certainly felt like that, but it was more like, yeah, I've done this, and it would be nice just to not to do it for a while. Like you weren't upset or angry about it or anything like that.
I've never not wanted to play.
Yeah,
but the gigs thing, when you're doing it as a profession, as a way to pay your mortgage, you have a different relationship with it.
Yeah, I think you had an opportunity to stop doing it, which was healthy for you.
Definitely. It was definitely needed at the time.
Rather than toys out the pram.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Yeah,
no, I still really enjoyed doing gigs. One of the things that, especially the Walkabout gigs, they were loud. And it was a proper rock band. And you go and sound guys at every gig, in-house PA, just bring your back line. And it was a lot of fun. And there was a scene around London at the time where there was a few great gigs. I mean, the Redback, there's a couple of gigs right in the centre of in Covent Garden, and it was really fun. That's all gone now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do all the time non-aligned. I want to give up every other day, and it's daft really. If you're thinking like that, then you're in a very odd place mentally, and you're in your own head. And if I could be so blunt, if you are thinking like that, and to anyone who's thinking like that, just stop, just get out of thinking like that and go and play. And whatever it is, just have the presence to be able to say, oh look, my brain is thinking that, and stand over here and look at your brain and go, why are you thinking that? It's ridiculous. And then go and play, or don't, but try and find a way that you can play where you enjoy it. Think about playing along to a record or playing a solo you really like or whatever it is, and just nip that in the bud. Because what happens, and I speak from bitter personal experience, is if you let that grow, it's a cancer. It is just, it's negativity on negativity, and it grows and it grows and it grows, and it becomes this massive thought in your head, which is bullshit, because basically what it is your ego is coming up with reasons to control you, and the reason today is you're crap at guitar, you better stop, or you don't enjoy this anymore, you should stop, or there's no point doing this because you don't get paid enough, you should stop, or you didn't play very well last night, you should just stop, or Andy Timmins is much better than you should stop. Right,
that one pops up quite often.
Yeah, and that's how it works. And if you can, and again, I say this from bitter personal experience, if you can have the presence of mind to look at your brain, if you could imagine it as a grey blob, or you can imagine it as a donkey called Cedric, it doesn't matter what you imagine it as, and look at it and go, you shut up. Just shut up.
Yeah, I love that. Can I ask you, what was your expectation? These gigs you've just done.
Yeah.
What was your expectation going into it versus the reality?
That's quite a tough one. As you know, I a lot of the psychological work I've done over the last 5 years gets rid of things like expectation, and you don't allow yourself to expect anything or want anything, or because you know that that's a hiding to nothing. So because I was extremely stressed doing them, we were quite busy at TPS. It was a lot of learning to do. The bands were disparate and chucked together for the most part. So obviously then your own ego is hammering you, saying, this isn't going to work. It's going to be awful, and you're going to be awful, and it's all going to be awful. So just give up now. So you do that same thing, and you step away from it. And in order to get through it at all, and not just phone everyone and say, I'm not doing these gigs, you go, okay, what have I got to do today? I've got to learn these songs. And I've got 2 hours today, and that's what I'm going to do. 2 hours, done. Okay, great. I can't do any more.
That's it. All right.
And then just go with the flow. And so I suppose I might have thought the gigs would be a bit ropey and we'd sort of scratch through. And in truth, that's what we did. But people loved it.
Right.
And we loved it.
Yeah, there you go.
So it was fine, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And I enjoyed playing loud. I played progressively better. By the third gig, I felt like I played the guitar again.
Right.
First gig was like, oh, Jesus, I have forgotten how to do this. By the third gig, it's like, oh, yeah, I remember this. When you're going for stuff and it's just under your fingers. Because, like speaking a language, if you don't speak it, your vocabulary becomes worse. You know, you mess up a phrase or a bit of vocab or whatever it is. So anyway, sorry, lengthy answer. We should talk about some other people. But point is, don't catastrophize. So easy to say, almost impossible to do. If you can spot yourself catastrophizing and just nip it in the bud and go, okay, well, I can't control what's going to happen. What I can do is do what I need to do right now, which is learn these bloody songs. Even though every time I play the guitar solo in Stacey's Mom, I play it wrong. So be it.
Jean Joe Hung says, your visit to Anderton's was great, Mick.
Thank you, Jean.
Quite a few people have said that. I really love seeing you on Anderton's. It's lovely.
Thank you. That's weird. As you were saying that, I'm reading a comment from someone called Lee Anderson, who's bought the white Gretsch Electromatic.
Cool.
Same as that one. Good for you, buddy. Hope you like it. Yeah, it was really nice to go and hang out with Lee and see all the boys. Anyway, right, let's get back to pedals and other people's issues. Eagle Ray Rob, hey Rob, how are you? And once again, thank you for your generosity, buddy, and everyone who super chats. It does make a difference, everyone. And we appreciate it. Thank you. So Rob says, I believe that Simon's knowledge, this would be Simon Jarrett, and ears are as good as the late Howard Dumble. Given time alone auditioning for Simon, I think you could end up with a perfect amp. Mick, how was the sound of the neck humbucker on Robin's Dumble? Yeah, big love. I think Dan and I were both surprised by Robin's Dumble because it is much more open and bright than I'd expected. Mm-hmm. Would you agree?
Yeah. I mean, having never even been in a room with a Dumble before, I didn't know what to expect because every sound I've heard over the years, they've just all sounded so vastly different. But I was not expecting what I heard. It was a glorious thing. And I only played the telly through it. But hearing you and Charlie, I mean, the guitars just worked, whatever you did. It was, an amazing thing.
Yeah. But what I would say, Rob, is that all of that stuff that Simon was talking about kind of is all really nice amps have a 3D quality, right? You know that. You've got some nice amps. If it's possible to be 4, 5 or 6D, that's what Robin's Dumble is. It's like it's hard not to like eulogize about it, but it is hands down and far away the most unbelievable guitar amplifier I've ever heard or played.
Yep, ditto.
And that's not just, oh wow, we played it for 5 minutes and we were all sort of, love struck over it. It was here for months actually, which we didn't say at the time. So I used to just get it out and play it. And Robin said that was fine, you could do that. So I'd come in on a Tuesday morning and go, did I really think that? And I'd be like, holy shit, yes I did. And so I with huge thanks to Robin, who said that was okay to do. I really got to know that amp, and the point stands. I've never heard it or played anything else like it.
100%.
And sorry, to the point. Yes, all that stuff that Simon was talking about, clarity, all of that, reactivity from the guitar, all of that becomes even more apparent on an amplifier like that because it has I keep doing this, gesticulation. It has the ability to deliver it.
Yes.
In a way that, let's take, and please, I hope no one's going to be offended by this, but let's take the polar opposite, like a small Line 6 Spider 4 or something.
With insane setting.
On insane, yeah. I mean, that has none of that, right? It's got nothing 3D. It's got nothing. It doesn't really matter what guitar you put into it. And don't get me wrong, you might like the sound, and I don't mean to be disparaging about it, but I do mean to set it up as an absolute polar opposite to a Dumble Overdrive Special. So where all those things that we're talking about don't really make hardly any difference at all, it's negligible. Mm-hmm. Whereas, neck pickup on a Gibson going from 4 and 4 to 6 and 6 is a giant tonal change.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Very good.
Thanks for the question, Rob. Fat old guy at 5,000 meters. Fat old guy at 5,000 meters says, if you found the best guitar you've ever played, both sound and feel were supernatural, would the shape and colour matter? Would you play a pink Hello Kitty Flying V if it was twice as good as any other?
It's a great question because it wouldn't, if it was a Hello Kitty Flying V, that would be awesome.
Where can I buy that? I tried to buy one of the Strats last time, but they all sold out.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. I think the colour and shape, and that gives you, it does change the way that you feel about the guitar. I don't think that you can disassociate the two.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the Matrix. Your mind makes it real.
Yeah, well, it's, an interesting observation on sensory perception, isn't it? Because I've said this loads of times before, so apologies for repeating myself, but when you go to school and you learn that there are 5 senses, well, that's cobblers. There are many, many more than 5 senses of perception and feel and all of that. And I'm sure, even though I'm talking in very general terms, I rather suspect plenty of cognitive psychologists have proved it. Anyway, as Dan says. And then the combination of senses creates a different sense.
Yeah.
A friend of mine went to a blind restaurant where it's pitch black.
I've heard about this.
And you eat your food and drink your wine and everything in the pitch black.
And aren't the waiters blind?
That I don't know. They might be. They might be. Yeah.
There was, so that restaurant was featured on a like a schmaltzy rom-com where but anyway, what a great idea.
Yeah. So I think you can't detach the two. I've been lucky enough position where I have been able to acquire guitars where I've been able to choose between a number of them. And in one case, the guitars, there was literally a fag paper between them. There was nothing to choose between them, so I chose the one that looked best.
Yeah.
In another case, the one that was a horrific colour did sound slightly better than the one I chose.
Oh, interesting.
But I couldn't go for that horrific colour.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to answer your question.
Great.
Rick Smith says, any thoughts on the leaked new Boss RT2 rotary pedal? Couldn't comment.
We don't, of course we don't have one.
We
here.
don't know anything about it, and
No.
there isn't one on its way to that pedal show right now.
And no, couldn't possibly.
No. There's no one has suggested that they're sending us one or anything.
That's enough. Move along. Nothing to see here. I James
genuinely
Bless said, I've been to some restaurants where I think this chef must have been blind.
I would love a pink Hello Kitty Flying V, if that was even possible, because I would think the Hello Kitty thing is Fender, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. But they probably don't deal with Fender. But surely you just make a pink Flying V and put a Hello Kitty on it and say, sue me.
Dear Dan, I'm enjoying prison very much. The food's not great, but
Thank you for your kind suggestion.
the company is
I think we have a blind chef.
interesting. Thanks, Fog at 50,000 metres, 5,000 metres. Carson Green.
Hello, Carson Green.
Hello, Carson Green. Happy Monday, all. Open blues jam night. Decent but random tube amp provided. What OD do you bring, and what if you can't bring something from Kingsley? Yes, okay. So you're playing a blues jam or similar. There's random tube amp.
Mm-hmm.
What overdrive do you take? And it can't be a Kingsley.
Okay. I would take... if I can't take a Kingsley, I would get everything that I need out of a D&M drive and probably a Wazza blues
You got
blues
one.
driver.
You got one.
One D&M
What
drive.
OD?
One OD. D&M
Yeah,
drive.
nice shout for the D&M drive. D&M drive would be great in that situation, because you've got drive and boost, and you can have them in either order, and there's quite a wide tonal range. So whether you needed to tame a really loud open clean amp or make a slightly overdriven one a bit, be able to get a solo boost into it, you could definitely do both. Dan's chosen D&M drive, so I would choose... that's quite tough, actually. I mean, to be fair, I think I could do most things with my Keeley modded tube Screamer or a TS10, but actually maybe a Marshall Blues Breaker.
Yeah.
Now, of course, what about all the double pedals, all the fancy ass boutique stuff? Yeah, sure. King Tone Duelist, Gladio Dual, all those great protein. Protein
Protein's
would be
great.
absolutely brilliant. And the new, not protein, whatever it's called, which has got a TS instead of a no balls.
Carbohydrates.
Yeah. So, of course, any of those, but to the spirit of the question, if it's just one OD, I think Marshall Blues Breaker for me.
Yeah.
Our Marshall Blues Breaker.
Yeah. That's very special, that thing.
Yeah. Thanks for the question, Carson. Whit Anderson. Hey, Whit.
Hey, buddy.
How are you? He says, good day, all. I received an email stating that D&M had cleared customs. Hooray.
Awesome.
It was bittersweet to learn that my TPS shirt was en route, and not that I needed to pick you guys up from the airport. Much love from Woo. Bless you, mate. Thank you for buying a tea, and to everyone else who buys merch, thank you so much.
Yep, thanks everyone.
I just, I'm sure we've said it before, but it's about 70% of our income. So it is genuinely what keeps the lights on. And yeah, without it, we wouldn't be here. So thank you.
We'd be in the dark.
Yeah.
Yep.
Playing
like chefs.
Wind up. Wind up tube amps. Lefty Obase. Hello, Lefty Obase. I arrived to play on Sunday and I forgot my board. Mild panic. I played my AC15, Q, amp reverb, amp tremolo, amp overdrive, volume knob cleanup, and I loved it.
Awesome.
All very 5-watt world. Here's to minimal gigs. Yeah.
Very good, mate.
And why not 2? Lucky it was an AC15, I would say. Because
yes.
you can do that with an AC15,
That's
can't
right.
you?
That's right.
Yeah. Nice.
Brilliant.
Nice. Yeah, that would be a pretty panicky situation, wouldn't it? It's not that you can't do it. It's just that you have to think quite differently, especially if you've got any specific sounds that you require for certain songs. Yes. Jamie Brown. Oh, hi, Jamie. Good to hear from you, bud. He says, thanks for a fun experience there, guys. Sorry I had to leave early. Turns out my 1-year-old dislocated his elbow.
Oh, man.
A&E had him sorted out in a few hours. Oh, that's good to hear. Good to hear he's okay. And it was great to meet you, Jamie. Thanks for coming. Glad he's doing okay. Schweg 9140. Schweg 9140 says, in your opinion, how much amplified, not unplugged, fret buzz is okay? I'm solving a buzzy Strat that I otherwise love. Is some rattle part of the Strat experience? I love the pure tone Mick gets out of his. Well, that's interesting, Schweg, because if you go back and listen to some of the Strat sounds, you will hear audible buzz, especially on the bass strings. Now, I know you're talking about plugged in, so let's get that out of the way. What Schweg is referring to there is when you play guitar like this, you'll probably hear a bit of fret buzz or strings. Maybe not on this because it does have 11s and something of a giant action at the moment. But
because
if you play with smaller strings and a lower action, you will hear fret buzz, right? But then once that gets amplified, that tends to go away and you don't really hear that. So if the fret buzz persists, how much is okay? And I would say next to none, really.
You want to try and sort it.
But you do, if you hear me play around here, you'll hear that through the amp. And some days,
Yeah.
some days it's worse than other days. And of course, the worst thing about it is once you start to hear it, you can't unhear it. And that's when it gets in your head. And that's when I put it down, pick up another guitar. So yeah, probably a question for a really good tech if you know one. Because, Dan and I have passing knowledge of making guitars okay over the years we've been playing, but then when you really talk to someone who knows,
oh yeah,
it's a revelation, the stuff that they know, and it's worth consulting them and paying them because what takes you 20 hours and a load of headache to diagnose, they can do in 5 minutes sometimes.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel your pain though, buzzy Strats. I think fret buzz is part of the electric guitar sound, isn't it?
It definitely, yeah, to a point. Because because it also depends on
And string noise.
and string noise and how
Yeah.
you're hitting it and all that sort of stuff. But
Yeah.
if that as a part of it, absolutely, you're not playing a synth. You know, it's an ergonomic experience with everything sort of coming together.
Yeah. John Cooper. John says, I bought an affected 3-inch guitar strap from you guys recently. It's a bit stiff. Any tips for softening it up a bit? First of all, John, thank you for buying
mate.
a strap. These are utterly beautiful straps that we sell in the Pedal Show store. Now, if you mean it's a bit stiff and it won't go on the strap button, if that's what you mean, just persist with it, because it's actually quite good that it's a bit stiff, because it means it won't come off easily. But the more you put it on and off, the more it will soften up. If you mean the strap itself is a bit stiff, I guess you could physically manipulate it.
It is one of those things, though, that it's who makes them? Hypercamp, what are they called?
Heisterkamp.
Heisterkamp.
Pixies, Dan. In shed.
The Pixies in the Shed make them, and they're super high quality. And you can see, like, Mixtrap, because it's been using it and playing it, does get softer over time.
It has the natural patina of
Yeah.
age, Daniel.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
they do get
You
softer
could-
over time.
You could, like, I don't know, maybe like roll it up and unroll it. You could, just
Work it, baby.
person handle it. a
Work
bit.
it.
Yeah, and that might work. What's the matter?
I'm just waiting for you to slap me with it. You could go.
Yeah, you could do that. You could do all of this, and because leather's a natural substance, you're not going to harm it by doing any of that. So maybe that's the way to approach it. But yeah, I don't know how old this one is. Ever since we started doing them, which would have been 3 or 4 years ago, maybe. And it's that's been used a great deal. And look at it,
It's beautiful.
a lifetime left in it.
Yeah, wonderful.
And you could wear it like a sash with a scabbard attached. Should you have any duels?
But just a Mr. Universe written across it.
Hope that helps, John. Thank you for buying one. Were we in the middle of another question there? No, we
No.
weren't. Jordan Drager, or Drager.
Hey, Jordan.
Drager. I think that's the first time we've heard from you. He says, hello from Canada. Hello to Canada. For your 10th anniversary, it would be interesting to rebuild or reflect on your original TPS rig to see how far the show has helped you develop. Just curious. Do you mean the gear we were playing at the time? Maybe you do, because it hasn't changed that much.
No, it's all red and
Changed a bit.
yeah.
Yeah. But I agree with the general tenor of the question, which is, how far have we come in 10 years? Or how far have we regressed in 10 years, Daniel?
47 miles.
Yeah. Yeah. We keep saying we're going to do some 10-year content, and it's now July.
So, yeah, 10 years. It'd be interesting to know what you would like us to reflect on, and after 10 years.
Yeah, obviously there'll be a clip show with me and Dan doing a commentary. We'll do that about the development of the show and some highlights, which would be quite funny. But I think, it might sound a bit contrived to say it, or a bit convenient to say it, but I think all the stuff we were talking about back then is just equally relevant and important now. It's the same stuff, analog signal path, wet dry, tube amps, nice guitars,
Volume.
yeah. I mean, it's in some ways it's even more relevant than now.
Yeah.
More relevant now.
It's more important than ever.
So, yeah, I would say that. I don't. I'm trying to think. Has anything happened that's made you go, oh, and you've sort of changed course in all the learning? Digital reverb would be one for me. I'd never bothered with anything like that. I've certainly learnt how to use delay. And the whole wet dry experience have been the biggest learns for me, I would say. Fuzzes, I've learnt a lot about fuzzes.
Yeah, I agreed. I've learned a lot about fuzzes. I mean, I've learned as much just from being sat next to you, listening to you play,
Same.
because what I think I know about an overdrive pedal changes when I hear you play it. It's like, oh, if he does that, because it's all dependent on the dynamic you give it. And Mick and I, because we play so differently, and I'm like, I'll play something. I love hearing Mick play through it because I get an understanding of what it's capable of in, hit like that. And so I've adjusted my, I think, the big thing for me is really understanding that the gear is only reacting, and we're all different and we all create different signals coming out of the guitar, and so what might work for one person won't for the other. But when you're in a room like this and you hear it at volume, you really get an understanding of what the gear can do.
Yeah. Yes, thank you for the question. Jordan, thank you. Jason Lindsay Music. Hi, Jason.
Hi, Jason.
Jason says, I've been recently experimenting with various head and cab combinations. Is there a method to discovering the sweetness, or is it all glorifious explanation? Is there a reasonable way to deal with impedance issues? Right, so you're saying you're trying different heads and cabs and trying to find a sweet spot somewhere. How can we speed that up? And then the impedance issues. So so there's quite a lot to unravel there. First off, head. Well, let's take one head, right? So you've got one head, and then you've got a bunch of different cabinets. So the variable factors in the cabinets are the speakers, obviously, the size and volume and when I mean volume, I mean physical cubic centimeters volume, not dB volume. Whether it's open or closed back, what it's made of, and the volume you play at. Because those physical factors such as open and closed back, what it's made of, and the volumetric size of it all change fundamentally with volume. Like in ways you just wouldn't believe, or you would if you've tried it. So I suppose if you're trying to define some sort of sweet spot, then you need to standardize something and decide in what environment am I using this. Is this cabinet to be used at gig volume? Is it to be used playing at home?
Yeah.
Because if you're doing all your testing at home and you want a great cabinet for gigs, then everything's going to change fundamentally when you get it out in the world and play it. But if you are doing it for home, then you're already at a great advantage because you're in the environment you want to be. So that's what I would say. And then that's the easy stuff. The hard stuff is, does it sound better at 8 or 16 ohms if I change the speakers? Well, I think if you get that far down the line, you know so much what you want, you'll easily be able to make the decision. That's nothing that I've ever considered.
Yeah, right.
Even though we've done a show on it.
Yep.
What do you think?
I think there's a reason that amp designers pair specific speakers with their amps.
Right.
Now, not to say it's not a worthy exploration. Have been playing with I've got my matchless, but the Dr. Z cab I've got here has got 2 golds in it, and the matches through the Dr. Z cab just sounds flippin' magical. And it's different than, of course the matches cab sounds great, but the 2 Celestian golds, and that was a happy accident. But I'm not going to spend a week going down and trying to see, okay, if I put those in this cab or this cab. I'm just going to I guess we're fortunate. There are a few speakers that I know that I like, and if I'm going to do that, I'll try it with speakers that I know I like. I like Celestian Blues and Greenbacks and Golds now apparently, and so I'll just try the greatest hits if I'm going to do that at all. But most of the time, when I pair an amp with the cab that the amp maker has suggested, it's like that is the sound that they've designed and sort of tailored and tweaked that amp to sound like, I'll go with that. 99% of the time.
Yep. Yeah. Gordon Rankin's come in and said amp and speaker is just personal sound. For example, he prefers Alnico over ceramic, and he also says that some brands have a kind of consistent sound. I would absolutely agree with that.
Yeah, completely.
I would absolutely agree with that, Gordon. One on the general subject of speakers, one revelation that I've had since doing these bunch of gigs, and I was hanging out a bit with our mutual friend Paul Stacey at the weekend. He was staying for a bit, and I went to see him play in a bar, really, and it was, you know, a rock gig in a bar with a rock band. Nothing going through front of house, just vocal PA. And Paul had that Laney 212, albeit on the bigger supergroup.
Wow, okay.
And a 50 watt high watt through a 212.
Right.
And he was loud as hell.
Yeah.
Loud as pigs. It didn't hurt. It didn't seem too loud. The other guitar player, Michael, was using a Hot Rod Deluxe, and I could hear him like a hammer in the ear.
Yeah, right.
And I was like, oh, of course.
Yes, it's beaming.
1x12 is beaming straight into my ear with that particular Hot Rod Deluxe frequency. And I'm not saying it sounded bad. I'm saying it was beaming into my ear. And Michael was playing keys predominantly, but he played second guitar in some songs. Paul's sound, with two 212s and two 50 watt tube amps turned up really loud, was joy.
Yeah.
And so anyway, leaping to the point, I had the same experience taking the 412 to one of the gigs, and actually, well, a 112 but 2 rock, but I had 5 12-inch speakers, and no beam, just big, lovely, enveloping guitar tone, which didn't have the beaming thing, and so in some ways it made it sound less loud. So I don't know how that relates to your situation, whether you're playing out live or whether you're playing home. If you're playing home, obviously having a 412 is a bit ridiculous. But if you're playing out live, I'm not going to do any more 112 gigs. I'm just not doing it.
I like it.
Unless it's a cafe and there's a singer, songwriter,
sure,
you know,
sure.
Of course. But if it's a band and a bass player and a live drummer, and I'm not doing 112s anymore.
Yeah.
I'm doing big cabs. I just think they sound better.
Yeah, it was so interesting. We had a rehearsal on Saturday, and Doug was giving it some.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know what? If you've got a drummer that can give it some, you need some heft and some weight.
Yeah.
And it's fine to tippy-tap around it, but the idea of a 412, an amp it's like, yeah, come on.
Do it.
Yep.
So,
magic.
And it's well timed, because after the show on Friday with Simon, just about running the amps more open and more hot, and running the guitar lower from the start. I'm going to try it. I don't know, 35 years in to regular gigging, it will be interesting to see if the switch can be made.
Yeah, right.
Because there's so much you do on autopilot.
Yeah.
But oh God, as a purely personal opinion, it just sounds better louder and bigger.
Yeah.
Right?
As long as you can play loud.
And as long as you can hear the vocals.
There you go.
That's the ultimate caveat.
Yeah,
if you can no longer hear the vocals, it's too bloody loud.
Yep.
Yeah. We will bow to the vocalist.
Yep.
After we've said to her 25 times, please go a bit closer to the mic. Honestly, you need to put your lips on it, and it's not even a euphemism. I'm trying to get him going. Failing. Hope that helps, Jason. John Freemer's random videos. John Freemer's, or Fremer, probably Freemer, is it? John Freemer's random video says, would you rather fight 1 Ed O'Brien sized prince or 3 Prince-sized Ed O'Briens? I think you've just won a prize for the best question ever on VCQ, John.
That's fantastic. I'm seeing Ed tomorrow.
Always the big slow guy for me. One big slow guy every day over 3.
Yeah, he's got reach though.
Yeah.
I don't know. You need to get in under.
Yeah.
So one big slow guy versus 3 Prince guys.
Prince-size Eds. 1 Ed-size Prince.
1 Ed. Okay. Well, 3 guys.
Or 3
No.
Prince-size Eds.
No. It'd be one
Yeah.
big Prince. Yeah.
Although, God, that's really hard. If it was 3 Prince-sized princes, you'd be done for, wouldn't you? There'd be nunchucks and everything.
That'd be. He's wiry.
He'd be like with his Cuban heels. He'd be out there.
Like flying through the air with a side kung fu kick.
Yeah. It's a great question, John.
Brilliant.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with 1 big guy.
Yeah, and I'd have to as well.
Yeah.
Have you seen? There's all this clips of these sort of crazy Russian fights that they have, and they'll get 2 little guys dressed as Batman and Robin versus 1 big guy dressed like Spider-Man.
Right. No.
It is
Surprisingly enough, I haven't seen
It is
that.
fantastic. Yeah.
Non-line says you'd be finished with 3 princes. I know. You totally would. Johnny C says, are you in touch with Johan Segborn and would he come on the show? I'd love to spend some time with him. It would be fascinating. I love what Johan does, and I think his line of inquiry and the way he deals with it is just brilliant. I learnt a lot from him over the years, and it would be great to hang out with him. Actually.
Yeah.
It would be great to hang out with him. Yeah. Paul Matulovic says, Prince was pretty athletic. I'd fight the Eds. Well, we've been in a room with Ed, and I can tell you, he's a big man, and he's not out of shape.
No, he's not. He's looking very good.
Yeah. You're a big man, but you're out of shape. What's that? Is that the Italian job?
I don't
Or
know.
Get Carter?
I don't
Michael
know.
Caine?
Get Carter. I don't know. Get Carter. What's that?
Sharp intake of breath.
Really?
Only one of the best movies ever made.
Really?
Dan.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know it. I
Actually,
don't know.
It's probably not one of the best movies ever made, but it is quite an important movie. Somebody tell us what that Michael Caine quote is. You're a big man, but you're out of shape. I even think he was called George. Plexico. Who would you rather kiss? 1, Ed O'Brien, or 2, Prince?
Ed, because I love him.
I was going to say, it'd be Ed because I think he'd mean it.
Yeah.
I think with Prince, you'd just, without casting aspersions, you'd just be one of many, wouldn't you?
Oh man. Oh boy. Okay.
Thank you,
Slipped
Duncan.
into a realm.
Yeah, definitely Ed. Definitely Ed. Chris Costabile. Hey, Chris, how are you? I've come around to P90s and I'm blown away. They're not noisy as the myth goes. Mine bloody well are. But they do clip an overdrive on the bridge. How high to set them and how much general pickup clipping do you find acceptable? I think it depends entirely on the rest of your rig. I always find Googling such a thing and cross-referencing what people who know is the way around this. I've done that with humbuckers, like how to set the pole pieces on humbuckers. Found some great posts and it's usually always right. If 2 or 3 people who I know agree, it's usually right.
Okay.
I don't know, have you ever mucked about with the heights of your
I have. And,
P90s?
I had to
What did
stop.
you do on the Junior?
Gave it to Dave Gregory and he set it up for me and I haven't touched it since.
So let's have a look then. With not much argument, the best sounding guitar in this room when it's in tune. So pole pieces are about, on average, 6 millimeters away from the strings, maybe a little bit more than that. And pole piece wise, E and A are down, G and B are up, G and D are up, B is up, and E is down, exactly as you would expect.
Okay. Well, Dave knows his stuff.
Not the stagger you would do on a humbucker, I hasten to add. I think, right, general, tell me, somebody, let's have this conversation openly like adults. Higher pole pieces, lower pickup means clearer. Does it?
Oh, okay. I don't know.
Higher pickup, pole pieces down means fatter. Does it? Somebody please put me right on that.
Okay.
You can get more clarity out of a humbucker by changing the relationship of the height of the pickup with the height of the pole pieces in quite a big way.
Okay.
So somebody should come in on that. And that it is one of the best films ever, Mick. Interesting to see how dark Newcastle was in 1970-71. Michael Caine and Brian Moseley, yeah. I do like that. Like, I don't know about the rest of the world, but UK was largely awful in the 1970s.
Right.
It was. And I think a lot of the art and cinema that came out of that period,
reflected it.
music especially,
Yeah, okay.
reflected that.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. Let's see. Dustin Thiessen says, Bookovac says, jack the pickups up and screw the pole pieces in. Okay, first thing to check, how far can you unscrew those pole pieces? Just do check that you're not going to damage the pickup by unscrewing them out too far.
Okay.
I don't think it's a big deal, but anyway, just check that. And then do the experiment. Have the pickups lower and the pole pieces higher, or the pickups higher and the pole pieces lower. Do both of those things, and hopefully the result will tell you what you need to know for your own taste. But if Bookovac says it, so what you got to remember about Bookovac, mercurial, just without doubt, one of the greatest guitar players ever to have lived. I mean, there's just no question about it. Super light pick attack.
Really?
And that will, well, I don't know about super light, very considered pick attack.
Yeah, okay.
And a medium pick.
Okay.
He ain't a hitter.
Okay.
Which isn't to say
He's my brother.
Which isn't to say he can't hit, right? But he's not like a flaming take a swing at it 13s action off the fretboard. So my point is your where your pickups are does matter compared to how you play, I think. So just bear that in mind. But try both of those things. And then as Duncan Plexico rightly points out, then you've got everything else in your chain as well. So he's saying amp settings, of course. Perhaps if you're finding you've got extreme settings of anything, something's kind of wrong. Start factory, go up and down a bit, see how you get on. Have we said too much?
No, that's good.
And one interesting question for you, Chris. When you say they're not noisy, I do wonder if your P90s might be stacked then. Because mine are literally the noisiest pickups of any I've ever owned.
I wonder what. Yeah, I wonder what it is. Yeah.
So that might be worth checking. Paul Matulovic. Hello, Paul.
Hey, mate.
Evening, gents. It's been a minute, he says. I've recently, on an AMA, Zach Broyles told me he gets very guitar specific with his strings. What are your thoughts? Also, if you visit Nashville, you have to visit High Voltage. They've got all the stuff. Would be nice to see, actually.
I'd love to go.
So Zach Broyles is Mythos Zach from Mythos Pedals, and he's saying, according to Paul, I think what you're saying is he will use different strings depending on what guitar it is.
Yeah.
Dan has a relevant story about
Yeah,
this.
so I've started using light strings on the SG. It just sounds great with light strings on it. I might try going up half a gauge, but I've done that before and it's like, it sounds really great with just like 10 to 48s on it. It sounds fantastic. But the Telecaster, 11 to 52, I just cannot get away from 11 to 52s. I will say though, I think that everything else is 11 to 52s on it, except for the, do I have 10.5s on the Jag? I think I tried on the shorter scale. But I will say though, the strings that we're using now, my favourite strings I've ever had.
Yeah, String Joys.
String Joys.
Me too.
I think they sound
Yeah, they are exceptional.
fantastic.
They are exceptional. Yep. I totally agree. Yeah, I mean, obviously would agree to a point. You know, more prosaically, if the scale length is shorter, you might want a bit more tension on the string, so you might want to use a higher gauge, or not. You might like, you know, like consider some of those like Supros and Airlines and things like that. Catalog guitars. If you find a short scale one of those or something in that vein, you know, 50s junk as various people describe it, tongue in cheek, because some of those guitars can sound truly spectacular. Actually, having a bit of flap on the strings is part of the sound, and it just gets this really funky, cool kind of sound going. So, totally agree with Zach. You know, whatever the guitar requires. Doing the gigs, I went up string gauges.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah.
You came back going, I'm putting heavier strings on
Everything
this
with
track.
11s on it, because I've got so much energy.
I love that. That's beautiful.
Compared to sitting here.
Yeah.
You know, on stage, everything is like...
Do you have any gigs coming up? Because I love the clips that you played me. It sounds amazing. I'd love to come and see it.
No, nothing in the book. Next one's November. So I'm going to try and concentrate on doing the writing for a bit.
Cool.
Yeah, nothing currently in the book till November. But we might do a couple of warm-ups before that. And that's with the big old band with horn section and everything. So that should be really good fun.
Awesome.
But, you know, there's virtually no guitar in that. Or there's much less guitar in that. And better it is for it as well. What was the question? Yeah, strings, absolutely. See what the guitar wants, see where it sings.
Yeah, definitely.
See where it sings. Paul Matulovic again. Paul says, any thoughts on the Zephram?
The phaser from Strymon.
Something from Paul Cochran.
Oh.
I hear no hype about it, but it seems it would be fantastic. I mean, if he's made it, it's going to be good, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
If anyone doesn't know, Paul Cochran is the originator of the Timmy and the Tim overdrive. Zephram.
Oh, heavens. That's an expensive pedal.
And interestingly enough, Zephram Cochrane is a fictional character in Star Trek.
How do I not know that?
All I'm getting is Zephram Cochrane references. What is it then, Dan?
It's an overdrive. But people are selling them for silly money because they must be out of stock.
There's one here for $136.
Oh, okay. Is it in stock?
Says add to cart. In stock
okay.
now.
There you go.
I'm not telling you where it is. All
Right.
you've got to do is use Mr. Google. It's not a Tim and a Timmy. Clean boost, overdrive and distortion. Okay, all right, we'll have to get one.
Okay. Oh, I see. Yes. Okay. Great.
Yeah. No, so sorry, Paul. We have no thoughts because we didn't even know it existed.
No. He makes great stuff though.
Airfire, Ed. Could we have a short explanation about what makes Fender Japanese offsets so much different to American-made ones? I don't know if this is in reference to a video that I've made with Andertons. I did a video with Lee on some new Japanese offsets, or if it's a general comment. What makes Fender Japanese different from American ones? Metric measurements for one. So whether you can actually notice that or not, I don't know. But they're built in millimeters, not inches,
Oh, okay.
and that can have a small knock-on to how things feel. I don't know if it actually does, but you know, so the nut will be X millimeters and the bridge spacing will be X millimeters. So the American bridge won't fit on the Japanese guitar, and vice versa.
The Americans kind of went halfway with the decimal system, didn't they? They do dollars, but they still do miles, and they do.
Oh yeah, was there American old money? Was there American old money? Like, because we had pound, shillings, and pence in the UK. Where was there old Australian money?
Yeah, absolutely.
But was it divisible by 10?
No, I think we had like there was silliness. I don't remember silliness.
Did you have our pound, shillings, and pence?
Probably. We had something. I remember my grandfather telling me about it, and he could rattle off the 12 farthings to a spectacular and 12 shenanigans to.
So you did then. If you feel so inclined, please Google Max Bygrave singing a song called Decimalisation. It is fantastic. So as part of getting people to understand that things are divisible by 10, not like 8 and 12 and all the stupid shit that old money was, Max Bygraves did a song, Decimalisation, Decimalisation. He's like, a bob is a pence and a 50 is a quid. And honestly, please listen to it. Anyway, right, where were we? Oh yes, Japanese Fenders. So compared to high-end ones, also you'll have a polyurethane predominantly, or maybe polyester, I don't know, finish instead of nitrocellulose on the higher end ones. So once you get to American original or American vintage, up from there into custom shop, everything's nitrocellulose from Fender, and that feels different than polyurethane finishes. So that'll be a difference. I in the video with Lee, I struggled because I don't know how to play those guitars.
Oh really?
I like the Mustang, but I couldn't really play the Jag and the Jazz. I don't know what to do on them.
Okay. But
Yeah.
that's because they're offsets, not because they're Japanese.
100%.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Although, having said that, I do know what to do on all the vintage Jazz Masters I played. I get along with them.
Oh,
I get
that's
along with them just
interesting.
fine.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Um,
Because they feel more like Strats to me, but I
Yeah.
appreciate all the Jazz Master people just threw something at the screen. But they've got more in common with what I think about as a vintage Fender than modern stuff.
I remember one of the best clean sounds I ever heard. I was walking down the Corso in Manly, and it's this really massive, like, pedestrianised thing where the restaurants are. And I heard this jazz band playing, and this guy playing guitar, and I'm like, that is the best clean sound. This old dude playing an old Jazz Master, far out. I'll never forget it. It was that good.
Yeah.
Really amazing.
Yeah. There was a guy when I was growing up. We used to play around a town called Weymouth in the southwest of England.
Town called Weymouth.
And there's a guy there called Tim Broad who had an old Jazz Master, and same thing. He just sounded epic. Sounded epic.
Gav Thorpe says, and you loved my vintage Jag.
I did. I really did. That is such a vibey guitar, Gav. Yeah, so I don't really know, Ed. I don't. Oh God, I don't. It sounds quite bad and judgmental, but new guitars in general, I really struggle with new guitars, like brand new, box fresh, perfectly finished guitars. I think because all of our guitars are battle scarred and generally have nitro finishes that have gone off a bit and just feel played in, I do really struggle with new guitars, new perfect guitars.
Yeah.
Relics, I love them, but Yes, so thanks, BV. Has qualified what Ed was asking. Are there any other real differences? Not really the measurements. I don't know what the situation is with Fender Japan, whether it is a wholly owned subsidiary or whether they are still outsourced. Fender Japan started by being outsourced. So I think we told the story on VCQ before, but when America couldn't really produce guitars for all kinds of reasons, I think it was Fujigen that first that made the Japanese Fenders. The drawings were given to Fujigen, who interpreted them and made them. And for a long time, the sort of, and continually, the consistency and quality is something that people talk about Japanese Fenders. Just the fit and finish, all of it. They're just incredibly consistent and very lovable guitars. And people talk about that all the time. Whether they're consistently better than American Fenders or ones made in Ensenada, Mexico, I don't know. But that is certainly said about Japanese Fenders, that is the case. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't play enough of them to know. They always look great. Like if I see an FSR, I think they call it, or a special run of Japanese Strats, they always look right. Like the colours always look right, and the tint on the neck looks right, and the headstock logo is right, and everything looks right. I always think they look great, and they do some really funky finishes. So yeah, apart from that, Ed, I'm sorry to say I don't really know.
I will say, just to round that circle, when we were in Japan and visiting the guitar stores there, if you're ever in Japan, man alive, you're in for such a treat. It is such a respected thing to do, to work with musical instruments in Japan.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Massive.
Unlike here.
They're all trained and they all wear aprons and they all have pitchforks and they won't hand you a guitar unless it's tuned, and it's really beautiful. But far out, some of the guitars they have, and all the musical gear, some of the stuff you find over there. But I have very fond memories of going into those guitar stores in Japan. It was just so cool.
Yeah. David Burke brings up a very, very important point. David, thank you for this. You, amid all my blathering, you actually say something useful, which is a lot of Japanese Fenders use basswood for the bodies. That's exactly right. So those ones that we did on Andertons had basswood bodies.
Oh, interesting.
Instead of alder or ash. Now, it wouldn't be right to say that basswood is always inferior to alder or ash. It depends, on the bits of wood used, but check what woods they are, Ed, and if that bothers you or you're not sure, then so do check the spec for spec differences. Basswood has not a great reputation in guitar making, and I don't know enough about it to know if that's true or not. I think weren't a lot of the early Ibanez guitars basswood?
Yes, my gem was basswood.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it was. I thought it was, why am I playing a wood made for bass guitars? I'm not interested.
And presumably the reason for choosing basswood is because it's lighter. A lot of the alder and ash available at lower prices was very, very heavy, especially ash around that time. Like some of those late 70s and 80s ash guitars are incredibly heavy. Whereas basswood would have been lighter. I'm going to guess that it's easier to work, but I don't know that. So yeah, maybe that's why they used it. Or it was just more plentiful. Obviously in manufacturing, you're not always using stuff because it's necessarily the best tonally. You're using it because it's consistent. You can buy it at a good price. It works consistently, and you can churn out the thing that you're making without too many failures. That's why stuff gets chosen for manufacturing.
Yeah.
And why a master-built Strat costs
there you go.
10 grand.
Yeah. Cam Navarro says, Dan, you look like you would rock an 80s Washburn Tour 24 BRB, which is a telly shaped with the Carla tremolo. And there it is there. I liked the Carla trems. Is that some sort of an EMG in there? Yeah, I'd be up for that. I'd give that a go. Washburn made some great guitars. My wife has an old acoustic guitar, an old Washburn acoustic guitar that she used to play when she was out gigging, and it's fantastic. And the old Washburn N4s,
The Nuno
the
guitar.
Nuno guitars, they were great.
So great you own one.
If you, well, no, I wasn't great enough. I wasn't great enough for those guitars. I do want to get a shredder though.
I'm just ignoring that.
You got one on the way.
I know. No, it's not. It's not.
Okay.
It's very definitely not a shredder.
What's his name? Gould, the guitar player.
Graham Gould.
No,
Martin Goulding.
no.
Come on, I've named 2 people called Gould. That's pretty good.
It's
isn't it?
amazing.
Gregor Gould.
No.
Golden Arrow.
Golden Eye. Anyway, he's got an old 63 Strat. Oh, apparently it was the start. He had something to do with the Tyler guitars. It'll come to me in a minute. But he's got this old 63 Strat that he had this Mr. Tyler work on. And he did all the stuff to it. And it's been the one guitar that is used on everything. Wonderful guitar player. But it's still a 63 Strat, but just super Strat.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
a proper
Yeah,
old
yeah.
Super Strat.
Yeah. Can anyone tell us who this Gould?
Hang
Boone
on.
Gould.
No, I'll tell
Boone
you who it
Gould.
is. I'll tell
Says
you
Johnny
who it
C.
is. I'll tell you who it is.
Ellie Gould.
No. I'll have it. It'll be someone like Dave Simpson.
Golden Brown, says Simon VRDJ.
Golden syrup.
David Tompkins says basswood sounded fine, and some people are saying it's basswood, so whichever way you want to pronounce it. Sounded fine on Passion and Warfare and Surfing with the Alien. Contentious statement coming up. Eat 'em and Smile sounded way better. Oh, sorry. Sorry.
No, don't apologise because I agree.
Sorry.
I think, but Eat 'em and Smile for me is my favourite recorded rock guitar sound of all time.
If we take, I would have to just remove Edward Van Halen from the discussion for a second.
Yeah.
If we remove Edward Van Halen from the discussion for a second, I agree. Favourite recorded guitar sound of all time ever.
Yeah.
Rock recorded guitar sound of all time ever. And I don't mean AC/DC, I mean that kind of technical guitar playing. Do I prefer Angus's sound to Eat 'em and Smile? Well, we could talk about that for days.
It wasn't Dan Huff.
Tom Gould,
It wasn't Dan Huff I'm talking about. It was something else.
Murray Gould, Gordon Bennett,
Fantastic.
Lee Michael Geller says, wow, Mick went there. I did, and I stand by it. I hate being kicked in the Goulds, says Simon V. Cool. Anyway.
Tia Maria Golden Brown, drink it when the sun goes down.
Was that the advertising
Yep.
campaign
And
in
done with a reggae.
Australia?
Tia Maria Golden Brown, drink it when the sun goes down. It's awful.
Drink it in the middle of the day, I would say. Okay, Brian Garcia, last super chat today. Brian says, happy 10th, TPS family. Thank you. Thank you, Brian. I've recently acquired a Heritage aged H535. I saw one at Anderson's actually when I was there. Blooming lovely guitar. And I'm considering mods to bring the axe closer to a 64 Clapton spec. Have either of you experimented with nylon saddles on hollow or semi-hollow guitars? I haven't experimented with them, but I do have them on this guitar. Nylon saddles. A lot of people don't know this. A lot of people do, but a lot of people don't know that for a period there in the mid-60s, instead of steel saddles on the venerable Tune-o-matic bridge, they're actually nylon.
Yeah.
Your SG's probably steel, isn't it?
The SG is steel, but the Junior, the nut is nylon.
So, yeah, I don't know. The good news is, not very expensive. Just swap them out and have a listen and see what you think. I've got Bless them. Oh God, I've got to remember the brand name now. Dan, keep the people happy.
Okay, I will remember the name of this player, and I can't believe I'm out here on my own with everyone just... Golden earring, very good. Gouldy looking chain. That's great. It'll come to me. It will come to me. Really fabulous guitar player. What was the guitar player in? Was it a band called Night Ranger? I think. Oh man. Yeah. But anyway. But I've always liked super strats, like strats that have been modded. And I had a Strat Plus in the early 90s. That if you took the pick guard off, it was already routed for humbuckers. So I just grabbed a different pick guard, put some humbuckers in, and it was awesome. I had I did the Seymour Duncan 59 JB combination. That was a killer guitar. So I'm a fan of the modded Super Strat to a point where if I want to get a shredder, nothing going on here. What's that? What's that?
It's back to the bridge conversation.
Okay. Oh yeah.
From Brian. So I want to say thank you to the nice people at St Helens Vintage Guitar Parts. Our friend Stefan Killerman, who also organises a guitar thing in Germany.
Brad Gillis and his old Strat.
There we are.
Yeah. Where I got Gould from, I don't know. That's as close as my brain would let me get.
Yeah, well, you got the G right.
I've got the G.
Yeah.
There's an L in there as well.
Well, Gould, Gillis, yeah, I could see that.
I can't. I need help.
Yes. Anyway, we've been talking about hardware because they're going to help me out try and sort out Bigsby for my 345. Anyway, he said, let me also send you, they've invested in a crap load of tooling. To make some nice vintage repro parts, and has arrived this rather beautiful wireless Tune-o-matic proper spec.
Do you know the difference? Because mine, on my SG, it's got wire on it.
Yeah.
Right?
Ask Joe Bonamassa about it.
Okay.
The devil's work.
Is it?
To have the wire on there.
Should I take the wire out?
If you do that, all your saddles will fall out like they
do
will on my 345.
They will fall out.
Yeah,
That's
I took
the
the wire off, but they all fall out. So he
doesn't like the wire?
Apparently the old ones didn't have the wire. Now, that's as much as I know about that, so you can have that discussion among yourselves in the chat. Anyway, this is an absolutely beautiful Tune-o-matic. Wireless repro made out of all the right stuff, etc., etc.
Feel the weight.
The point being, it shouldn't be too heavy, I don't think. If you feel the old tail pieces, they weigh nothing.
Yeah, I know. I'm feeling that for the weight. I'm wondering if that is too heavy.
I don't know.
No?
It won't be.
Okay.
I don't expect. I don't know. Anyway, obviously loads of people have come into the hardware game down the years, Tone Pros notwithstanding and all the rest of it. This is really super vintage specific. Oh, God. Galloping to the point. I'm going to put this, even though it's the wrong colour, on my 345 just to hear the difference between...
Oh, that and the nylon.
I'm interested to know.
Oh, yes.
If it sounds a bit brighter. I don't want it to sound brighter. I'm just interested to know if it does. Because I am going to put a Bigsby on it. Anyway, they've found one, apparently.
They found what?
A Bigsby.
Oh.
So it's just whether I want to
fork out the
pony up and
fork fun out. Vouchers. I had a fascinating discovery with my SG. And I'm amongst friends, so I will share with you.
It's not here.
No, I understand that. Okay. I can show you with this. Oh, this is heavy now. Okay. You see these... I'll just show you at home. If you have a look under the bridge, right? Right, have a look under that. And you'll see thin screw. So that bridge you're talking about sits on these thumb wheels,
Yeah.
right? Now, on a Les Paul, where the tailpiece is pushed into the body,
Well, not always, but
Not
on
always,
yours
but
it is.
okay.
Yeah.
you get a nice tension here, pushing
Yeah.
down on the bridge,
Yeah.
and it can sound great.
Can I offer a tangent?
Tangent away.
One of the reasons a lot of people don't screw their tailpieces all the way down is because this angle becomes too acute and you get snapped strings, which is why Bonamassa top
Does
wraps.
wrap over.
So he can have the bridge, the tailpiece screwed to the body of the guitar and the angle of the strings not too acute. Sorry for the tangent.
That's okay. I have tried that, and I just kept pushing the strings off the saddles.
Really?
Yeah.
You're a Thor-like human being, Daniel.
Whoa!
Even on a Les Paul.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it does fundamentally change the sound of the guitar.
Yeah, yeah.
So what I found was on the SG, because I had the old sideways vibrola, which is a bit back and it's a little bit high,
Yeah.
I wasn't getting enough tension on here, and this just felt it wasn't transferring the resonances, the vibrations properly. What I did, I found some washers at the right height that I just sat underneath the thumb wheel, screwed the thumb wheel down onto the washers so that it was pushing down on the washers into the body, and I put then that on the thumb wheels. It meant that when I changed strings and I took that off, I never accidentally moved and then spent a week trying to find the right height for it. It was in the
Right.
perfect position. But also, it sounded better. Now, don't need it on this guitar because it's such a fat sounding thing. But on the SG, it was very good.
Interesting. So now your thumb wheels are basically in contact with the guitar.
Yeah,
Of
exactly.
permanent transference. I'm interested in that. Let us know what you think. David Burke is saying, I have two 2016 Memphis 64 reissue ES 345s. Of course you do, David. He says one's got nylon, one's got steel, nickel coated brass, sorry. I don't really notice a difference in tone from one to the other. Yeah, okay. Deja is saying, I swapped out bridges on my 355 and went for an ultra light one with brass saddles. It's ridiculously zingy and harmonically rich. So he's saying he does notice a difference. Chris Gwynn says, Mick and Dan, Vise Green Meaty had a basswood body. Now you have some thinking to do.
Did it?
Well, there we are.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. There we are. There we are.
Interesting.
I still prefer the tone,
yeah, it doesn't change that.
basswood or not.
Yeah.
Well, that's very interesting. Thank you, Chris.
Joel Francesca says, I miss hearing that Nick Huber. I'll put it back.
Johnny T says, I understood that top wrapping over a stop bar makes the strings easier to bend. Okay, let's get into this then. The tension is exactly the same. The elasticity is different. So it's an interesting question about whether you think they're easier to bend, because if you increase the singing length of the string, or not the singing length, actually the entire length of the string travel. So if you added more there, for example, doesn't change the scale length. And believe it or not, if you measure it, it doesn't change the tension. But it does
You have to be up to pitch. That's what takes the pitch. Yep.
But it does change the elasticity,
Yes.
which means you have to push the string further
To get the same thing.
to get to the note. So whether you consider that easier or harder is interesting.
That's very good.
Yeah. I have had this argument at length with lots of people, publicly and not publicly, and I believe that to be the case. No, I don't believe. I know that to be the case. David says, I actually have 3 of those, Mick, but one has a Bigsby. Oh, mate. So cool, mate. So cool. I keep looking out for Memphis. 330s, and if one comes up in the right colour at the right place one day, I'll just buy it. I know you're talking about 345s, but
GOGT says, Dan, is that a Gould top?
Deja is also implying that what another reason for top wrapping is if on the old bridges they would sag a bit
Right.
because the metal was quite
Yeah.
so they could be damaged by sagging, and to reduce the tension over the top of the bridge you would either raise the tailpiece or top wrap, and that's a good point.
I just remember when I was trying to get my junior to intonate a bit better, I went through half a dozen tailpieces, and all with slippy, slidey bits and intonate properly. Man, they had so much. It just took away the magic of that guitar. Just put that light bit of aluminium, whatever it is, back on. It was all back. Such an important thing. Anywhere the strings come in contact with the guitar, it's important.
Yeah. But as we all know, Dan, it's only the pickups
It's
that make
only
any
the
difference.
Man, I must have stared a bright light right in the face.
You
because-
probably looked at that one.
Yeah, probably.
That's one of the great things about getting older as well, isn't it? Stuff like that will make such a big difference.
I could be having a stroke.
Yeah.
No, I think I'm okay. But keep an eye on me.
FAST.
What?
It's the acronym that we have to remember.
Right.
Like Fender, Action,
Superstrat.
Steinberg,
Telly.
Telly. None of that's happening. You're not having a stroke.
Okay, great.
Face,
Gorgeous.
ass, sack, toes. Isn't it? Is that it?
Oh, boy.
Michael Harrison says, can you do an episode on audio interfaces and doors, please? With a smiley face. No, we can't, Michael. Go and watch Warren Hewitt produce like a pro or something else. Honestly, if you want my honest opinion on this, the door absolutely doesn't matter. Just choose whatever makes sense to you, workflow wise, and something that you can learn. So
They're all great.
yeah, and people will get very passionate about which one they like the most because it's got this feature or that feature. So you could start with a list of things that are essential to you. And if you start with a list of things that are essential to you, and the particular door ticks the various boxes, then just start using it and learn it. And I wholeheartedly will state that knowing your way around a lesser door will get you better results than struggling around a really posh fancy one. If you are planning to do professional work and share stuff among professional people, get Pro Tools. Because
Oh, interesting.
that's what everyone uses.
Yeah, right.
I mean, if you talk to any decent engineers and producers, they can use all of them, but they will usually choose to work in Pro Tools. So we use Logic. I use Logic because it's Apple environment, which means it's always optimized to work on the Mac. I've been using it forever, and therefore I don't really care if there's better ones out there. I can use it quickly.
Yeah.
Also use the door we're using right now to process the audio and do everything here is Universal Audio Luna. So use that as well.
But so you use two different doors, one for this.
Yeah. It's because of the routing options
Okay.
and the real-time UAD processing.
Right.
So we use a de-esser, a denoiser, and something else, and UA just does that a little better in real time
Right.
within the UA environment.
Okay.
You can do it in the other applications as well, but for whatever reason, we've got the template set up in Luna and it just makes it easier. Speed of work. Door audio interfaces, well, again, we use Universal Audio, and the only reason we use, the main reason we use Universal Audio is because that was the first super pro thing we went to after
the Zoom.
And I like the UA environment. I know how to use it. I shouldn't say this. It gets the shit kicked out of it day in, day out, and it doesn't go wrong. That's worth almost everything. Also, our particular one, which is very expensive, but it's got 16 in and out.
Yeah.
So we can have loads of stuff in the front, and then when I do the post mix, I've got 16 outs. 14 out and 2 back in. But anyway, whatever. So that I can analog post process everything with external hardware. And there's not many normal interfaces will have that many outs and ins. So how many outs and ins do you need? What do you need to connect to it? Start there. How many simultaneous recording channels do you need? Entry level audio interfaces will have 1, maybe 2. As you go up from there, you start getting into 4, then 8, etc., etc.
Yep.
Used to be in the universal audio environment that running lots of plugins was a problem because you would need external boxes. Because the computing, actually this is quite important, because the digital processing and computing is done within the universal audio device, if you go with universal audio, it meant that the device itself had to be quite powerful. So you'd end up paying loads of money for satellite processors in order to get the plug-in power that you needed to run more plugins. Actually, that's changed quite a bit now because the processing power is shared with the computer's own RAM.
Okay.
As I understand it. So those octa boxes and that aren't as important as they used to be.
Oh, okay.
As important as they used to be. I don't know the specifics of that. So because modern computers are so powerful, it can do part of the game as well.
Right.
And UA has changed in general with the way it works. It now offers, I think, all of the plugins as native. They don't have to run on the UA box. That is just too much information. Point is, if you've got the number of ins and outs you need for simultaneous recording, and you can run the plugins you want to do your mixing, it really doesn't matter what you use, with the caveat that once you get into high-end audio, it really does start to matter what you use, but then you're talking insanity money.
Yeah.
And unless you're running a high-end studio, don't even think about it.
Yeah, right.
Would be my view on that. But
I mean, I did all the recording that I did, because I only ever used one channel at a time, was just done on the what's it called, the dual input one, and it's
the desktop ones.
The desktop one. It's
great. They're great. They really are great. Well, Jean Yo-hung says, I'm still hungry for more ins and outs. I have a UA twin. Yeah, that's exactly what
Dan's so UA about. Twin, that's right.
Yeah. Boss Enjoy says, I got the SSL 18, which is a 19-inch rack for $1,000. Yeah, I've looked at the SSL stuff. It looks really great. And Audient have done some really good stuff just recently.
And especially for guitar players, their Valve preamp input.
Some really good. And who else was I just going to mention? Focusrite and what are the red ones? Scarlet. What are they?
Yeah,
is that Focusrite?
Yeah, it's Focusrite.
Yeah, I mean I don't know. They're market leader. They must be close to market leader. They sell millions of those things.
I've got one. I bought it in the dark times, and it's very good, but I find the UA stuff more intuitive to use.
Yeah. Dustin Thiessen says, not everything UAD runs native. Thank you, Dustin. Some of it does. So, yeah. I would say if you are going UA, if you want to use UA plugins, get a UA interface. Not cheap, not cheap.
Yeah.
Chris Costabile says, Thunderbolt cables. Tell me about it.
Oh, man alive.
Oh, we've been through small USB to first iteration of Thunderbolt. And then next iteration of Thunderbolt, and then now the last iteration of Thunderbolt, the most recent one. It costs us £300 or £400 every time.
Yes,
it's really annoying. Really, really tremendously annoying.
That's what you would say, tremendous bollocation.
Yes, endless bollocation.
Yep. Tremendous bollocation.
Kyle Milbrand is saying RME Babyface and Firefaces are great. Lots of love coming in for the new audience stuff. Yeah,
And that's a massive market. Like it
crazy.
It
Dwarfs the guitar pedal market.
Yeah, completely.
There's somebody who's in that world told us that the audio interface market is at least 4 times the size of the pedal market.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. That's just the interfaces.
Yeah.
Just the interfaces.
Yeah. Okay. I think Gordon Rankin says, do as much as you can outside the box before going into the interface. I use 500 series modules and then stereo into the box. I agree. Everything pedal show is analog front end. So it all hits analog mic pre's, compressor if we need it, EQs, everything outside. And then it's just going line level +4 into the UA box. Absolute minimum plugins. And then it is post-processed using analog summing and other analog outboard gear. And if you're in a traditional world like we are, I think you can hear it all day, every day.
Completely.
Utterly useless if you're in any sort of commercial music making, because the idea of recalling mixes on analog stuff is like you drive
You get
yourself
a bit of masking tape.
drive yourself crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a stylistic choice, isn't it? Although I was talking with one highly decorated record producer on Thursday night who is as adamant as ever that analog is the only way to record music. Yeah, it's a fascinating conversation. Good. Okay, that will be us then, people. Thank you for being with us.
Yeah.
It is great to hang out.
I might get a 4-track. I've got a beautiful Tascam ATR 60 half-inch 8-track in Australia. It's the heaviest bit of musical gear I've ever had. It's insane. But I used to have, it's 8-track, and I used to have a 1-track, a sync code on there, and they will hook up to a computer. But I had 7 tracks of analog to record to on tape. And I wonder if there's a 4-track that you can do that with, like a Tascam 4-track thing that will hook up to a.
Might be.
I want to look into that.
Might be. I'm sure there is.
Because they sounded fantastic.
Plenty of people still running little tape machines.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a look at that.
Yeah, I wouldn't, because it's just too much maintenance. But
I don't mind. I really don't mind.
And good tape, hard to come by.
Yeah, that's right.
Apparently, I don't know.
I had a nightmare trying to replace the tape in my old high watt tape echo.
Yeah. Imagine. Okay, thanks for being with us, everyone. Friday's video is first of 2 on attenuators. We've done what have we called it?
Make quieter.
The wonder of modern attenuators make quieter, and then the following week will be the wonder of modern attenuators make louder. Really interesting shows. Really interesting shows. One of those ones where if you were in the room it really would make 100% of sense, but hopefully in the video it will make about 90.
Thus is our lot.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Yeah, thanks for being with us, everyone.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
We appreciate it. We wish you a good week.
Yes.
And a good everything. I've got beef bourguignon for dinner tonight.
Oh,
and I am
nice.
so looking forward to it. And the old jalopy's got to be MOT tomorrow, Daniel.
Nice. But at least, that's when they find stuff, they find it
reasonable
very cheap,
about it.
very reasonable.
Yeah.
They find
Yeah.
the most inexpensive way to do it, and
Yeah.
they do it quick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Always quick, inexpensive,
Always,
hassle-free.
Great.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I was supposed to be MOT'd last Tuesday, but I forgot.
I've never played that before.
Wow, that's a Pearl Jam song. Dan is playing a mood to invoke a failed MOT. Play us out, Dan. For those of you who don't know what that means, it's I don't even know what it stands for. Motor something. In order to have a car on the UK in the road, if it's over 3 years old, it has to have a yearly check to make sure it's roadworthy. I think a minor key if it's going to fail. See you next week. Play us out, Dan.
Well, my car didn't pass its MOT. Oh, dearie, dearie me, don't pass my MOT. Rosie, 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 Rosie. What's the MOT?